See, for like, well, the thing is as well, you've got the great thing of like playing Cyberpunk well after it's released, because there were so many bugs when I played it. Like, it was still absolutely gorgeous, and your machine's like easily double the power of mine. Oh, my controller hasn't turned on apparently. Wait, wasn't it just on? Let me try that again. Come on, little Bluetooth. I believe in you. Okay. But yeah, Cyberpunk is stunning. So nice looking. And imagine with like your ray tracing and DLSS settings and stuff. It must look splendid. Okay, so I currently have a configuring Bluetooth services. There we go. Right, any bugs yet? You're trying to avoid ad release these days for that reason? Yeah, man. It's hopefully had loads of updates since. I haven't been paying attention.
Jonah, I'm with Urartu.
I'm hoping for some more story. Oh, that's basically, so DLSS is it's like an AI upscaling type thing. So you basically can put like it's like you can put your like ray tracing or something at like half the like resolution you want it. So like say you want 4K, if you put it at like 2K and then put DLSS up, it will bump it up to 4K in a way, but that's like a lot less intensive but not like really noticeable. Basically that game has so many different settings, it's obscene. Like I found the best way to like do it was I just looked online and pretty much just copied settings from another like thing that I saw. Oh, that's my friend and I'm not allowed to murder them. Let's go. Oh, you a baddie? Oh, you are a baddie. Okay. They screamed on the way down. Oh, we're just murdering everybody at the moment. Come on in, Lauren, Jesus. Do I have to grapple to the rock, or can I not just walk down there? I might just, I might just walk down here, you know. Free pot. I was hoping I could read that thing, but I guess not. Oh. Set ray tracing full. Don't even know what it is, but the game looks incredible overall. So ray tracing is the way that the like the game engine reacts to light. So basically, I think if I'm right, I think my GPU, where it's not ray tracing, I think it's my GPU would be more path tracing, which they're very similar, but ray tracing is just like way more in depth and does way more cooler shit, basically, way more reflections and whatnot. We heard the sound for that way too early. Go.
I think that's the last of them.
I think you're the last of them.
You lead.
Ooh. I feel like this bridge is going to break, so I'm just going to run as fast as I can across it. Never trust these sort of bridges. Jump! Alright, we're good. What's down here, though? Oh, I'm blatantly going to have to climb down there in a minute, right? This is going to be locked or some shit. Yeah, the three newest Tomb Raiders, I've been surprised every time about how good these games actually are. Like, old Tomb Raiders were fun, but I never really played them much. Never to completion. Oh, shit. I basically just played them so I could put the butler in the freezer. I forgot we had that mask on. It sounds like he's getting fucked up, so I think she's right.
Take this key. Come. I want to show you something.
I wish more people played Prominence Poker on PC. Taking forever to fill this table of button PS4 to fill up pretty quick. It's unbelievable how much quicker loading it is, though. Yeah, right. I suppose that's one thing. But yeah, surprising. You would have thought more people would be playing it on PC. Although maybe that means on PC there's a different... I know maybe that poker one is the one you like, but maybe there's like a better one that on PC potentially. Maybe that's why I like more flocking there.
My whole life to resist it. Amaru has not yet seen the bugs, but already its power corrupts his mind.
What loser?
Paititi is its people and can only survive by our will. together.
So, if Amaru remakes Paititi his way, it's like he destroys it.
Yes.
Just gonna do shit during the connect to prominent scene because it was so painfully long so fast now. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, man, but you have an issue now, you can't see what they say, like the tips on the loading screens. You don't get that shit no more. Oh.
How do you know you'll be able to resist the power once you have it?
Oh, I'm Laura's there. I thought that was Laura for a second.
I don't.
How come she doesn't have any arm braces? Is that purely so we can tell them
But if my
apart?
training fails me, the Crimson Fire will guide me and hold me to my promise.
The mouth sync seems really out of... I know it's hard to see through the teeth mask, but...
What is
That's
the
what's really
Crimson
off.
Fire?
It is my
Time.
destiny. It's
After I
connected
remove
to
some
the
loading
sacrifice
tips.
of
Have you said it? Yeah,
When
right.
the Crimson Fire smokes,
It's cool that it goes so quick, like it's
a
lovely, but at
powerful
times
force
you're just
that
like, I
can
just
never
wanted to
win.
see. Good, I shouldn't take this. This looks again like the
Any of
Cave
those
of Wonders.
Creatures ever find their way in here?
Luckily I left
Creatures?
Abu outside so he can't get me in trouble.
Attack. In the caverns around Paititi, they were in conflict with Trinity.
Paititi.
And at the altar where the box was taken, they came after me.
Do you mean the Yashil?
They were tall and fast, hungry, almost desperate.
I would not call them creatures.
What'd you call him?
They're more than that. The key I gave you should work here.
Alright, sweet. If the key works so well, why do we have to keep squeezing through the door, you know? Bit silly. Oh, a bug.
What happened to the Yashil?
There are many legends. It was long
Gimme.
ago, but Paititi owes much of its safety to them.
Paititi.
They protect it.
I don't know if that's their intention.
I'll go this way, it'll look cooler, I
but their
guess.
actions have that effect.
They don't ever attack the city.
No.
No.
We have always lived
No.
in cooperation. I think Amaru might be planning a public sacrifice.
Of a rebel. We have to stop it.
No.
We don't have
not
to.
unprepared. Not
I've got a lot darker when we came out here. Usually it gets lighter.
warrior who prepared the sacrifice will prefer death.
Cool. I think that's Michael Stipe from R.E.M. Play that funky music, man. I'm not really sure of his identity. What am I doing? Where'd she go? So
Stay
just,
near me and do as I do. The crowd could turn on us.
where are you? Stay near me and do as you do. I have no idea where we are. Oh, is this you? Oh yeah, you're the peacock-headed lady. Alright, let's go. Pretty groovy little area. She has a terrible haircut. I'd have a word with my barber if I was her.
Their leader, the traitor, Unurati, your fallen queen,
Oh shit.
is in my custody. But it is not too late to save her. Today, we offer a sacrifice to Kukulkan as a prayer for protection.
Come.
As the exit
See what he
draws
does.
near.
See what who does?
A sacrifice.
The leader dude?
Trevor's life will be redeemed. May all his fellows see the light and rejoin us.
Oh. Oh, that's a bit
Said
crazy.
they
Isn't it?
wanted an end to violence.
He sees it as a means to an end.
It's a cool master Emperor's around though. Looks heavy. Hold on, I'm gonna keep walking. Check my head.
Come.
This rebel sacrifice.
Oh shit, it's loads of them at the bottom. They've been at it all day.
All these people believe him.
They are afraid, and with good reason.
Yeah, because he's a maniac.
Not much farther. The tomb is beyond that door.
Alright, cool. I'm coming. I'm just trying to sort my vape out at the same time. You can sneak and vape. It's fine.
Come. Halt.
Innocent eyes will blink at dawn when weakness falls away.
Oh,
Me pass.
sounds like a matter to me. Income, man! How you doing today, dude?
The tomb is up there, on that
I'm
stand.
mixing a match in a couple of my
I'll
vapes.
watch the gate.
Got a
I won't
creamy
be long.
flavoured one, and I'm adding like a strawberry pancake type
We're
one.
close to the Emperor's tomb.
Let's go.
By the river,
Let's go.
ready to get you and Unuratu out of there. Let me know when you're ready.
Sure, we're ready? Well, I don't know what we're doing. I haven't been paying enough attention. The game should know that I'm not going to pay enough attention.
Okay.
Alright. I know, I've seen this. Monkey see, monkey do. I know it. Okay. Doing well. Glad to hear, my man. Oh, I got a sneeze. Just a tour. It was just a tour. We're good. Alright. So I think I've got to get up there. Can I? No? Fine. I've got to climb somewhere else. Or swim? Sometimes the only way to go up is down, you know. Oh, and we don't have some requests on at the moment. But they might queue. The song request is technically on, so they should queue. That one hasn't. Right, it's probably something I've got to murder. Right. Oop, careful. There's lots of bushes and stuff and stuff like that I can blow up. I feel like I'm going to have to stealth this in a bit because there's a lot of hiding spots. If it queued, I think the bot would say it though. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing shown in my song queue at the moment, but the queue is open. Oh, can I climb on that? Easy. Oh, there we go. Right. So that just didn't add your track, but started playing the song request really late. Good to know. Oh, it was alright. Okay, okay, fair enough then. Okay, cool. That's a belter. We'll definitely have that one in the break.
Good. Now to get in.
Ooh. You got it. Come on.
That looks like my way in.
Spider Lara, Spider Lara. Got bit by an archaeology spider Lara. And the second time it registered, but also caused Iron Butterfly to skip. Yeah, well, what it probably did was, that song was probably already on the list. I think a lot of the time if you add a song and I haven't played a song, it will play, like, whatever's on my playlist first for some reason. But,
This figure must be alive.
because you then request it a second time, my first song must have not been one that my bot plays anymore. And then that's why it worked out okay. Look at this free shit that someone's laid around.
This altar is elaborate. This
You're
must
elaborate.
have been an important ruler.
Looked like a shit ruler, you couldn't even draw a straight line on it. It was all curvy. Computers.
Inca influence is unmistakable.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work and swim with hammered sharks. Thanks. I'm hoping to find some lovely antiques, yeah. Also, Kyle, I'm not sure what Bakura's plans are later, but he did ask me if I was up for playing some games later, potentially. So, maybe some Rocket League or something. Also, Mojo has a PC now, so we got a new boy that we need to put into some games for sure.
What am I missing?
You can play games for like an hour and a half? Yeah, I think that's basically roughly when we'd go to start. Yeah, Mojo got himself a PC, a fucking baller PC as well. Like, sick. But, yeah. We'll be playing in about an hour and a half, I imagine. That's it, there's no excuse anymore. For like community games and shit, Mojo. You got decent frame rates, son. You can't be saying nah. See, look, I knew I'd have to like explode stuff and or hide in forestry. That's my tea too hot, I think it is. Uh-oh. Oh, that was hotter than the sun! He already abandoned us for Rocket League. Oh, is he playing it right now? I swam in that pool. It wasn't that deep. Where's that mask off? We're literally in the war zone. Why wouldn't we... Why wouldn't you choose to use it? Gutted. Bullets do beat arrows. Dummy.
This is Commander Rourke.
Oh shit, it's Commander Rourke.
Send a team for Croft.
No, man, that Mojo, stop playing. Yeah. But I just assume that's because shitty PlayStation, you know. That's right, she'll just bleed out for ages there. Always why that ends well.
Give this to Edsley. He's a rifle heir. He must need by TT.
What if I just tell everybody she said I'm the rightful heir and I've got the badge,
Young,
so
but strong.
I could be the leader for sure.
His spirit as noble as his blood.
Don't go. Keep talking to me.
The box. It will tempt you. Resist.
I mean, this is the final one in the series as far as I'm aware, so if I get the chance to take over the world, I might do it. Be fun.
I won't let you down.
You already have. She's dead. Oh, clip him through the trousers. Alright, alright, alright. Exploded air, exploded air. So I failed on the stealthy bit, but we're fine. Because I've got a fucking assault rifle. And these guys are just trying to hit me with clubs. Got fucking assault rifles and shotties. Fucking take your cuckoo can and I'll fuck him up, son. Oh shit. Hi doggy. Bye bye. How you doing, my man? Check my Discord. I will in a bit. At the moment I'm in a stealth mission, so I've got to be careful. How you doing today, Bax, dude? What you got for me? 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 Yeah, doing lovely, thank you. Doing lovely. Where is this nerd? Oh, hello. He sees me. Oh, there you are. Oh, and another one. We good? What's my plan? Do I just gotta get out? Oh! Alright, let me check Discord quick. High Party 6 tournament all map sub up for entry winner takes all. Each map 2 a week. First play 3 points. Oh. I can dig it. Been bumped to the second team. Savage.
Jonah, where are you?
I'm down by the docks.
I see you.
Oh, I had the music cut out.
On my way.
Fair enough.
Where's Unuratu?
We were attacked. She died fighting Trinity.
Gutted.
Oh no.
Where is my mother?
Awkward.
She...
Also, back to you down for some Rocket League about 9ish.
But that's the leader's amulet.
Yeah, you're gonna be the leader now, little shit.
It belongs to you now.
I mean, he can be happy. He's like the king now.
She was a warrior. The eclipse draws near. If we cannot restore the sun,
I'll find the box. I won't let the cult of Kukulkan Khan get to it first.
begin the preparations for the burial chamber. Queen Unuratu will live on, within us.
He doesn't seem that distraught anymore. He seemed quite upset at the beginning, but I think now he knows he's king, he's pretty chill.
The rebellion must succeed.
We'll be back with the box.
Take care. We will be ready when you return.
Cool. Sounds good. What we doing?
So what's next?
We'll head back to Kwakyaku, regroup and take it from there.
It's a nice chain.
All that for another riddle.
What did it say?
The heart of the serpent is in the cup
Sounds good.
near the many stone faces.
Well, it's better than nothing.
So I've been trying to focus more on character texture recently, so I'm trying to like take note.
We need to find the box and end this.
Faces I'm getting more to grips with, but I want to see more how they're doing the hands. So that's alright.
What is that?
It's a helicopter. Huh. Oh dear. How does she keep living? Yeah, there we go. At least take a singular bullet. Fuck. Oh, she's got white hair now. What's going on? Oh, and you're back pretty deep again. How are you not riddled with bullets? How is there not a shark eating you? Not that I dislike Jonah, but he best be dead. That's gonna be well infected, man. This water looks jank. I hope she has some iodine. Oh, look at her hair. Even her hair's terrified.
Well, look what I found.
How can it want to be dank? That's where Nestle's factory is.
Don't
It's because of
move.
they keep trying to grow too much chocolate in there. They're trying to skip the process, you know. Oh shit, nice kick. Oh, right to the nuts. Although he didn't seem to mind. Maybe he's a eunuch. DDT him. Stab him, slice him, dice him. Send him to Christ him. Oh. Oh. Nap time. Should have grabbed her arm. Yeah, I know, right? Well, he's probably learnt his lesson. I imagine he'll do better next time. Yeah, quickly, hide in the bushes. This works, like, every time. It's fine.
Anything? I'm still not 100% convinced the box even exists. Find something? All clear.
Come look at this.
What's up, Chief?
This couldn't wait till morning. Okay, last time.
Maybe I can
we looked
pull him
over
in.
Here.
I could just try and shoot him from here, maybe. Oh, I can't shoot.
You remember?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe I'm not meant to murder. Maybe I'm
Missed
just meant to
something
try
the
and
first time. We should look at everything again.
Yeah, good point.
not get captured.
Okay. Do you think the river is higher or lower than it was?
Come on, man. Stop asking me to remember things. As soon as Operation Lone Wolf got called off last time, I completely pushed it from my mind.
Let me throw it. Oh, did I not pick it up properly? Okay.
Got anything? When I have something to report, I'll report it. This would be easier if it wasn't raining.
Not for me, it wouldn't.
Find something? Stop asking.
So really, I need to get around them. So this spot is not great. I need more stuff to distract them.
The rush all of a sudden.
It's not around here.
Got anything?
Oh, that was probably the bad idea. I don't think I have any guns on me. Yeah. Well, I did stealth kills though, so I think we did the right move.
Anything? I'm still not 100% convinced the box even exists. Find something? All clear.
Come look at this.
I should be able to whistle or something.
What's up, Chief?
Nothing in this area.
Okay, nice. This is how we do it.
This couldn't wait till morning. Okay, last time. I think we looked over here, maybe here. Is that what you remember?
I don't know. Does it matter? If we missed something the first time, we should look at everything again.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
Come on, man. Stop asking me to remember things. As soon as Operation Lone
did
Wolf
not
got
work.
called off last time, I completely pushed it from my mind.
Gotta investigate.
I won't be able to whistle.
Stand down.
I can't wait to finally see this box I've heard so much about.
Is he gonna walk around this way?
Please let me know if you have to leave.
Nice.
The heck?
I'll investigate.
Use some backup.
Yeah, could use some backup, boy. Alright. Lovely. Now I'll just carry on, right? Oh, no, not that way. Up here, probably. Yeah, there we go.
Forward team, why the fuck are you still looking for that box? You have hostiles in your area.
Well, Dr. Dominguez.
I don't give a damn about Dominguez. Find Lara Croft and kill her.
Lara. It's Lara, dum-dum. Oh shit, death from above. Nice.
Find Lara Croft, how? We're spread out way
Why
too
are they
goddamn
saying
thin.
Lara?
This was a research
It's Lara.
Let's just spread out and make the best of it. I'll cover that area. You stay here.
She's brutal, man. She's gone straight up Rambo. Bring me Lana Del Rey.
First,
Yeah, right.
Dominguez tells us to look for the box. Now Rourke tells us to look for Croft.
This is not the time to fucking wander off. What the heck? Investigating.
I'm not muddy at the moment. Shit.
Something suspicious here.
Area's clear. Yes. Kill anything that moves. I'm with you.
What? How did they? Fuck it. I need a mud pit. Okay, don't need a mud pit. It's fine. We'll just carry on.
Shit.
Go for it. Whoa!
All units report status.
Easy. All day, every day.
Clear. What's going on, Commander? We got hit by a force shot. Kappa team. All clear, sir.
I mean, she's trying to be stealthy. Why has she got this little little light on?
I've got full shock damage to Juliet 3. A rock slide took out the tertiary pumping platform. No fires. Follow trees and let's block the access road to Kilo 2.
Hey, little campfire. Might as well have a chill. Story time.
What the hell? What
Yeah.
the hell am I supposed to do? Hunaratu's dead, shot in the back by Rourke. I don't have the box. Jonah. God. If anything happens to him. God damn it.
God damn it. I might do this resist damage for a bit longer. That seems pretty decent. Incapacitate unarmed enemies with a counterattack after dodging. I mean, that could be good. What are these? Flare round. That could be fun, I guess, but. Shots find other animals, don't care. Reveal traps? Actually, that sounds pretty good. Let's have that one. Oh. Isn't this where I upgrade my stuff? Oh, I don't have any of my stuff, do I? Shit. Might have an exclamation mark on something. What's that one? think I've done that one a few times. I haven't done this one. That looks pretty nuts. Double melee resistance takes significantly less damage from melee attacks. We are doing little stealthy bits at the moment. Let's rock this one for a while. Looks cool.
Hello, Lara.
Who is this?
Lara, goddammit.
I suspected you've been monitoring my communications since Mexico.
Rourke.
Commander Rourke. You've been listening to me. And now, I'm listening to you. Another foreshock. How's it feel?
Oil fields.
Knowing you're responsible
And
for
fire.
all these cataclysms.
It's not usually the best
All
mix.
that suffering.
I know what I did.
The look on your face when Dominguez told you. But you just had to have that dagger, didn't you?
Yep.
Forward outpost. Croft is
We
moving
didn't
into your
even
area.
say goodbye to each other. We just ended the conversation.
Right through the guys at the beach. It can't happen again.
We'd better do a sweep. Anything interesting in that new shipment?
I think it's
Thermal
interesting you have
goggles,
such
gentlemen.
strong American
Great
accents.
I got something.
Is it?
Where?
How you got anything? I only just got here.
Shit! False positive. Some animal.
Some animal? That sounded terrifying.
Hey, are we getting those lights up or what?
I'm never gonna get them working if you keep pestering me.
Right, so I've taken this dude. Can I take his gun, please?
Said Croft's coming through here.
God damn it.
Why can't I pick up the gun?
I'm hurrying.
That's silly.
Here we go.
Where did he go?
Jesus. Smut? Jesus. Figure Rourke's alerts for real? Absolutely. He wouldn't.
I'll fix this damn thing.
Okay. Doing alright with this so far. Wrong way, buddy. Why can't I pick up any of their weapons? Seems silly, right? Or is she just like so angry now? She's like, no, I'm taking them all by hand.
God damn it, people, use the goggles. Find her.
Evening, Ralph.
Evening, Sam.
You see anyone? If I did, I'd be shooting.
Hello. If you're looking for me, I'm right here.
More good men down.
What if they're hiding?
Unless the concealment is completely blocking the heat she gives off, I'll see her.
Where are you there?
Goddamn Lara Croft again. We've got to stop her. Don't worry, we will.
Yeah?
Oh, there's quite a few people there.
No, but I'm sure it will.
Rourke's a bitch, fam.
We'll stop her. We have to.
Always going down.
It's always going down. Maybe lots of people are trying to sabotage and kill them.
Please let me know if you have to leave.
Man down! Copy that. We'll
Something's
find
not
you.
right.
Shit, I better look around.
Hmm.
Sweep the area.
Come a little bit closer, birdie.
Lead the way.
Fuck it out. I'm over there now.
All full up.
Did he just get shot by his own men? Oh, come on. They did get me. That's fair.
Evening, Ralph. Sam.
You see anyone? If I
Why do I have to
did,
give them
I'd be
names?
shooting.
This has been going on way too long.
What if they're hiding?
Unless the concealment is completely blocking the heat she gives off, I'll see her.
Those guys weren't exactly careless.
Probably weren't careful either, though, were they?
I'm gonna get her, I swear it.
Right, I'll fix it. One more time.
Gotta investigate.
Do it. Do it. Hello.
Croft is mine.
Man's tense. I don't like it.
God damn it, she's hunting us!
Oh shit, I better look around.
Oh, I found one of my friends.
Keep your heads up! Copy that, team leader. Take point, guns up. No chance of her getting away.
There's too many of them. Ah! Okay. Well, that was great stealthing from me there, guys. That was top notch.
Laura, are you okay? Was that the earthquake? I'm near an oil refinery. Everything's
Oh,
blowing up.
jeez.
No, Jonah, get off this channel.
What?
They're listening.
Okay.
I'll find you.
So he is still alive. It's crazy. What's this? Why is there so many scared looking things? How did someone die like that?
It's a recipe for
And
a
it's like lava
hallucinogen,
hits you.
sometimes used in war.
Hey, sweet, bow and arrow. Sick. I've got one of those already. Actually, she hasn't got shit at the moment for some reason, so at least I have a bow and arrow again. Or a bow. I don't have an arrow yet.
This should help.
I mean, what happened to my
If
guns?
I use this on my arrows, it could be an advantage against Trinity.
Is it? Jaguar's Fear. Oh, hello. I like the sound of that. Fear arrows cause enemies to attack their allies. Craft with silent arrows, cloth, and dart poison. How do I craft? I haven't done that at all. Or this is just... Oh, it's just when you like hold right trigger or some shit, right? If I do that... Oh, I can hear monkeys.
I don't have enough space for that.
Well, fine then.
Tau team, Croft is on a vector toward your position. I say again, Croft is coming to you.
Jesus Christ.
We'll get her, sir.
Show me her corpse, and your entire team is next in line for deacon training.
Why should you say that? Oh, Jaguar's Fear. While aiming, press RB to shoot an enemy with fear arrow. Okay.
Here we
I shot him in the brain.
Need a hand?
Get away from me!
Oh shit. Nice. That was neat.
Where's that backup?
Base camp's having trouble receiving me. As soon as this is up, we'll use it to boost
I
your
want to knock him in the head.
Something's up. I'll head over and take a look. This isn't right. You be okay? Shit, what's going on? What the fuck's he doing?
He was fine earlier. What happened? Oh wow, I got that. Nice. Oh, there's a nerd all the way over there. Can't see me from there, surely. Maybe they can see me from there. Oh shit. Ah, so that's how I choose between the different arrows. Okay. Still have some fire arrows though. That's good to know. Oh no! Yeah, it's true. Tables turned completed. Nice. Oh shit, still a nerd. Fuck me. No, I'm still crafting. I'm still crafting. Hold up. Oh, that didn't go quite to plan.
I don't have enough space for that.
Sweet. Look at all this space. I was meant to like stealth all of this, but if you're good at murdering, you don't need to be good at stealthing.
Impossible. I can't carry anymore.
That's what my nana always used to say.
Jonah? Jonah, come in, please.
He's not gonna answer, Lara.
Uh-oh.
He's dead.
Oh shit.
Now you can add your friend Jonah to the list.
He's
of
not
people
dead unless it
you
happens on the
killed.
screen.
Fuck you, Rock.
Wow,
If
language.
you want to pick up his body, it's at the refinery.
I'm coming for you.
Hey, a hard hat. Coming straight for you, but I'm gonna get this nice hard hat first.
Cardinal 2, I've got a lock on the target.
Uh-oh. Jesus, man, how hard is it to kill her? Got to bring all these tanks and helicopters and they still can't do it. Crash Bandicoot level, let's go. Oh, bloody hell. Oh shit, what happened there? I have no idea what happened. She just kind of gave up on life there. Am I meant to go this way? Oh. Oh, fucking hell. There is a lot going on here. No, I mean, no. No, Joe, come on now. You know I'm the best. You know I'm the best. Okay, see, we got it. We know what we're doing. Oh, Jesus. Why are we climbing up? This doesn't feel any safer going up. That wasn't my fault this time. That wasn't... Yeah. I was going to say, you can't kill me this time.
Sometimes I feel like
That's a nice shot.
keep going, and if I don't, then I'll just let everyone down.
This is the first of many catastrophes you're doing.
I have to go. I'm the only one.
You're the only one that can work.
Oh shit. Oh shit. She's just channeling every 80s action movie right now. Oh, you're gonna get fucked up, son. Jonah's not dead, but she thinks he is, so she's going on a rampage. This doesn't feel as much about archaeology anymore, you know? I feel like she really has changed her career path quite somewhat. And that's the first time she picks up a gun. We've had a gun for... We've killed so many gun people.
Where are you?
So she just stood there in the open.
I'm gonna find you. You can't hide from me, Rourke. You are fucking dead.
She's trying to make sure the vigilance have bones and stuff to get that. Oh, that's true. She is causing a lot of bones.
Croft is all yours.
But Jesus Christ. She's kind of going a little rag-ag.
Base camp, this is Cardinal 2.
Oh, Jesus, he just flew away.
This is Cardinal 2. We're taking shrapnel, but we're stable. Orc's gone, but he left you a present. Croft, I know you're listening. I'm the last voice you'll ever hear.
Who's that?
Come get some. Croft, I know you're listening. I'm the last voice you'll ever hear.
Oh.
Shit! Cardinal 2! We cannot take another hit like that.
Well, there's a human there.
Orc's gone, but he left you a present. You can't hide from me.
another barrel over there I can blow up? Oh shit. Maybe I just had to hold out. Okay, sweet. Oh, careful, Lara. What happened here in 2,000 years? That's true. They'll probably just think some like really small, weird-looking dinosaurs, especially with the little skull she's got in her costume. Okay. A lot of fire. Yeah, you did all this, Lara. You caused a lot of devastation. Jonah's not even going to be dead, we know that, right? There he is, see? It was all just a ploy. She just murdered a lot of people in pain for no reason. You thought she'd be happy that her friend's alive. I mean, Jiminy Cricket. His name is Jonah.
You okay?
He's not dead.
Making everything worse.
Yeah, she kind of is, right?
Not.
We heard real names given to some of these goons that we've shot.
We can do this.
Yeah, maybe you can't.
Come on. Where to next? Can't stay here.
I don't know, Jonah!
Oh, bloody hell.
What was that clue? The heart of the serpent. Something.
She's
The heart
clearly
of the
having a
serpent
moment,
is in the
Jonah.
cup.
Just let her have it.
Near the many stone faces.
And what kind of cup are we talking about? Some kind of chalice?
A chalice that's not very Mayan.
The FA Cup. That's what we're talking about. Oh shit. That's right.
Wait.
Women's football.
It's not mine.
I assume they still have an FA Cup, right? Does women's football get FA
The
Cups?
clue was left by a 17th century missionary, Andrea Lopez, a Jesuit.
Oh my god, she's
The serpent in the
realising
chalice
stuff.
is a symbol of St. John. We're looking for a Christian holy site.
Like a Church of San Juan? That's a pretty common name. Could be dozens.
Not within tracking distance from Paititi.
Come on. The road is this way. We'll get out of here, talk to some people.
I think so. Okay, cool.
Okay. What would I do without you?
We spent the vast majority of this trilogy without him, Lara. You would get on fine. You really would. He hasn't helped at all. We're constantly rescuing him. In fact, you would have done so much better in this game if Jonah was dead. I'm going to put that out there. We should kill Jonah. He's holding her back from her true potential. Look at my teeth. Yeah, man, it was a proper shame that we went out in the semis. Yeah, it was a proper shame, but we just didn't have the cover. Our players were too tired. We had no one to like swap out up front. But we're in the Conference League next year at least, so we're still in Europe next year. So yeah, man, it's annoying as well though because if we had beaten Frankfurt, we'd have played fucking Rangers in the final. Rangers, we're almost guaranteed that win, or a devastating defeat. Also, I need this cutscene to end so I can grab some food.
Let's split up. I'll look for signs of Lopez.
We'll ask around, see what we can find out.
Alright, sweet. So let's save the game quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna go quickly have a smoke, eat some food. Felicia's cooking me some dinner. So I'm gonna have some of that. Will probably be